For me, it was very exciting. The idea of bringing back Michael Keaton as Batman, you know, obviously because I saw Batman in the movies when I was a teenager.
To be honest, the fact that we'd be able to bring Michael Keaton back as the Tim Burton Batman was one of the things that cemented our decision to make The Flash.
We get Michael Keaton Batman. You know, when I read that, I was just knocked out.
As soon as I read that Michael Keaton was in, you know, the whole idea of this multiverse, and wow, it was just shocking.
That was the clincher. When you turn the page and you realize who it is, you think, oh, that's great.
It's like bringing back a classic. It's like bringing back the Beatles. Many people probably think that they won't see that again in their lifetimes, and they have to content themselves with rewatching the old movies, you know, Batman and Batman Returns. That's why it's so exciting, I think, for people that were affected by the first Batman to see that Batman is coming back again. If Keaton's Batman, probably the one with the longest arc and a more complex arc.
Michael Keaton's Batman adds heart. He is a very human Batman, and he is reluctant to come back.
The thing with Batman in general is that this man that is immersed in this misery, in his childhood trauma, and he doesn't seem to be able to overcome it. It's the only Batman, apart from the Adam West version, that seems to have a sarcastic sense of humor about it. I think it's very tied to a coping mechanism. He has a very dark side to him, but there's a lightness to him, and that's what I found remarkable of his performance.
What was kind of fun was that Michael Keaton's Bruce / Batman had never been a mentor. He'd always been a lone wolf. We'd never got to see him with a Robin or with anyone younger like that. And so to have him suddenly thrust into that role of mentor was just kind of fun and funny and challenging for him. And I think it's great because Barry brings to that relationship so much love, so much trust from his own Bruce. Having that kid suddenly show up in his life, it changes Keaton's Bruce over the course of the movie, and it lets the two Batmen kind of share one arc.
I really wanted to defy people's expectations of where Bruce Wayne would be 30 years later. And I also wanted to deepen the backstory of Bruce Wayne. If Bruce Wayne, as the story tells, has been retired for 25 years, what happened to him? I always said something should have happened to Bruce Wayne to want to stop being Batman. And my idea was he did something that goes against his code. He killed a criminal in front of his child. Unknowingly, but he still did it, which is an exact mirroring situation of what happened to him when his parents were killed in front of the Monarch Theater, and that created that monster that Batman is. So he just couldn't cope with it, and that's why he decided to shut off his other side, Batman. And he hasn't been able to forgive himself. And now the way we find him is a bit of like the evolution of that journey. You know, he's a tragic figure. He's basically a character that is in search of redemption, but eventually finds a way to do it by helping Barry.
Want some help?
We prepped a lot for when Michael would arrive because he's such a huge, iconic star, and his Batman is imprinted in every retina in the world.
One of the most exciting things to take on was Michael Keaton's new Batsuit. We all know very well, particularly in the costume world, the original Batsuits that he wore in the 1989 movie and in Batman Returns, I think, 92. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to be really true to the technology involved in those costumes, the look of those costumes, and what would have happened in 30 years to those costumes. What would they have become? How would they have developed? One of the folklores about Michael Keaton's original costumes were that they were really constrictive and hard to move in. And then he developed, as part of his character, what they called the Batman lean, where, you know, he was unable to look up or look down, look left, look right, so he used his entire body to make those moves, very famously kind of leaning back to look up and looking down to... And so we took it on ourselves to try and create a new rubber batsuit that would be much more flexible, much more comfortable, much more usable.
But when Michael put the cowl on, the first time he explained to him, I said, hopefully, Michael, we've put more movement into him. And he just go, no, I can't have that. There's no way we can have movement. It's got to be
That's that's the really important thing. Okay, Corey, we want to make sure it's nice and for you, trying to help, best laid plans and all that.
We got a report from Alex Byrne, our costume designer, that he had gone very emotional when he first put on the suit because it had been 30 years.
To see Michael in the suit, that was incredible, absolutely incredible. It's a film memory I'll definitely take with me.
Michael is the ultimate pro. He plays everything very small, to the degree that you almost can't catch it. But then it's projected onto the big screen, and it is unbelievable. The amount of control he has over his face muscles, his eyebrows, his eyes, his mouth. Even when it's done at the smallest, he is telling you exactly what needs to be told.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
And it's something that I had never seen to that extent. For me, it was magic, and I think for Andy too.
You're strapped to your parachutes.
Working with Michael Keaton was insane. It was so cool. The dude is so fit. I don't know where the fountain of youth is, but he must be swimming in it. Honestly, the guy is a ninja. There was this day when we were filming in the kitchen, and we were doing the rehearsals, and Andy was just showing on an iPad Michael the footage of the sequence that was happening. And Michael just like jumped up like on the table and was just like there, just like, oh yeah, cool. Okay, yeah, got it. And I was looking at Michael Keaton on this table, I was like, dude, what are you doing on the table? Like, seriously. I put my hand out to offer to help him down, and he just went, oh yeah, I'm cool.
Michael Keaton's Batman is iconic. There are some very specific moments that it's important the camera gives the audience exactly what they want. There are probably 3 points in that, dramatically. First, when he's villain, his ears and his costume. The second, obviously, is when we reveal it's Michael as Batman for the first time, which sends a chill down the back of my spine. The last moment is his "let's get nuts" line. And it's just making sure that those moments are just right, because they give so much pleasure to so many billions of people.
Michael's son and his grandson were in Leavesden visiting one day, and Michael told me when I did Tim Burton's Batman, Sean is his son, was 4 years old, and now my grandson is 4 years old, and he's seeing his grandfather as Batman. And that was very emotional for him, and of course for us as well. I think Keaton didn't know how he was gonna feel about being this character again. But to be honest, I think he's walking away from this movie with a lot of love for Batman.